Marketers are panicking. Traffic is down. AI is stealing clicks. Google's rolling out AI overviews. ChatGPT is changing how people search. And everyone's asking the same thing. How do I get my traffic back? Here's the truth. You really don't want that traffic back. Because the visitors you lost, the ones who landed on broad, top-of-funnel blog posts, were mostly window shoppers. They'd consume your content and leave, never to return. Now, AI platforms like ChatGPT are doing the education for you. They qualify buyers by asking follow-up questions, narrowing down options, and surfacing the best fit. By the time someone clicks to your site, they're not browsing. They're ready. That's why traffic from ChatGPT converts 9 times higher than Google search. And it's not complicated. This shift is easy to understand once you see how the funnel has flipped. But here's what matters most. This is a massive opportunity. Agencies and businesses that adapt first will win big. Imagine doubling your leads with half the traffic. Picture a 40% drop in visits, but a 60% jump in conversions, and triple the amount of demos booked from AI-referred traffic. Those are real numbers we're already seeing across the 66,000 agencies we work with at Vendasta. For agencies, this is where you shine, turning AI-driven visibility into measurable ROI your competitors can't match. And for your local business clients, it means more decision-ready customers showing up and taking action. Watch to the end of this video and you'll walk away knowing how LLMs have flipped the buyer journey over on its head, the exact AI fuel assets that move you into ChatGPT's recommendations, and how to optimize your website into a conversion engine that turns all those AI-qualified visitors into booked calls and paid orders on the spot. That's why traffic being down isn't bad news. It's the biggest opportunity you'll see this decade. Sounds insane? Let me explain. The Google traffic you're celebrating today is likely the wrong traffic. Google sends browsers, researchers, inspirational shoppers, but ChatGPT sends buyers. Think about the last time you bought a piece of furniture, say a couch. In the old Google world, your journey would look something like this. First, you'd search up the best sectional sofas and read a bunch of listicles. Then you'd jump over to Pinterest for inspiration. You might even scan blog posts on leather versus fabric. Let's say you finally like a style. Now you'd compare prices across 10 retailer sites in your area. Maybe 2 weeks and a dozen tabs later, you would finally contact a retailer to put in your order. That's the traditional funnel. Awareness at the top, consideration in the middle, and decision at the bottom. Dozens of touch points, most of them informational, and almost all of them never leading to a sale. Now fast forward to today. Same couch, but instead you open ChatGPT or Perplexity. You type, what's the best sectional sofa for a family of 4, under $1,500, preferably brown, easy to clean, and fits in a 12 by 15 living room. In one conversation, AI would narrow down the fabric choice, show you which brands fit your budget, put your mind at ease by pulling actual context-rich insights from Reddit threads, reviews, social media discussions, and customer feedback, and link you straight to the retailer with the best options. This is how large language models, or LLMs, like ChatGPT, Perplexity, and Google's AI overviews are handling 60 to 80% of the early to middle stages of the buyer journey, compressing awareness, consideration, and that first layer of vetting into a single conversation. This is the intent revolution. It almost feels like chatting with a knowledgeable friend. You ask follow-ups, resolve objections, and land on a site ready to buy. A huge majority of B2B and B2C buyers now use generative AI during purchasing. They ask more conversational, more intent-driven questions, and the ones landing on your website are already pre-qualified and clear on requirements. This puts those searchers closer to making a final buying decision compared to the tire kicker in Google who still needs to gather additional information. So while your total website traffic might drop, revenue per visitor climbs. Quality over quantity. We have seen a brand new B2B SaaS company actually go from 0 to 9,000 MRR in 30 days, with almost every deal self-attributed to LLM search. The takeaway here is that if you show up in those answers, you meet them at the moment of intent. If your product or your business is the one that ChatGPT suggests, you're essentially pre-approved in the buyer's eyes. But if you're not showing up in AI-powered searches, you may be invisible to nearly 9 out of 10 buyers during their crucial research moments. So if you're an agency working with local businesses, this is your opportunity to tap into higher intent traffic that drives real conversions for your clients and for your bottom line. This is why traffic being down isn't a crisis. It's just a filter. Now, you must be wondering, if AI is doing all the education off-site, what does that mean for my marketing? Well, in an AI-first world, top of funnel or TOFU is dying. Bottom of funnel or BOFU is your next AI distribution. In plain English, the focus has shifted from keywords to questions. Let's be blunt. All those what is posts, broad how-tos, keyword-stuffed essays, basically all the content that taught basics will not win you a recommendation in LLMs. That's because AI overviews and chat assistants are swallowing those queries. AI SEO isn't ranking pages, it's answering people. Your TOFU traffic didn't vanish, it got answered. So here's what you do. Stop guessing search volumes and start mapping buyer questions. I mean the real, actual questions people are asking LLMs to learn about your business. Here's what you can try to start today. First, open up an LLM like ChatGPT or Gemini with a deep research function and input a prompt like this. Conduct deep research to uncover how people are currently searching, talking, and asking questions about insert topic. Gather insights from the following sources. Reddit threads, look for recent buyer or comparison questions. People also ask sections in Google. Answer the public or also asked style question maps. Blog posts and comment sections from marketing industry specific sites. YouTube video comment threads. Prompt sharing forums like Prompt Hero or Reddit's r/ChatGPT. Summarize findings in 4 parts. 1. Search phrases in keywords. What exact phrases or keywords are people using? 2. Natural language questions. List examples of how people phrase real questions around this topic. 3. Sentiment and buyer concerns. What are common objections, frustrations, or decision factors? 4. Emerging LLM patterns. Are there signs of people asking this in ChatGPT, Gemini, or AI search platforms? Keep the tone analytical and insight-focused. You may simulate insights based on your training, but format them as if preparing a briefing for a content strategy. The results from this prompt are now going to tell you crucial information about the language and wording that people are using about that topic. This helps you uncover additional queries you may not have been aware of before. Once you've received the deep research analysis, input this next prompt as a follow-up in the same thread. Now, take the findings above and generate 10 natural language long-tail questions, 20 to 30 words, that simulate how a real buyer might ask about insert topic on Google, ChatGPT, or Gemini. Prioritize phrasing that reflects actual buyer language, including keywords or concern patterns noted above. And if you have any additional data, like a list of SEO keywords you've been targeting, you can also attach those when you give this second prompt. You'll unlock the long-tail questions Google never showed you. Another goldmine is your own customer conversations. Those sales call transcripts, support tickets, customer emails, they're pure gold. They show you unfiltered buyer intent. And once you've mapped your buyer questions, you'll know the exact questions ChatGPT, Claude, and Gemini are answering in your category. The next step is to use these buyer questions to create on-site content that LLMs mine and cite. So for instance, if your agency has a roofing company as a client, their prospects could be asking LLMs these very questions at the moment. If you want to help your client win a top spot in AI answers, you should be thinking about creating hyper-specific comparison pages that read like they were written for the exact decision someone is about to make, such as your company name versus top competitor for storm damage response comparison, or your company versus company B for eco-friendly roofing materials. Landing pages for each primary buyer question, like mini knowledge hubs that don't just answer the main query, they also anticipate every follow-up question a buyer might ask. Like if a prospect asks for a cost estimate, they'll inevitably ask what's included. If they ask about the warranty, they'll ask about prorated versus non-prorated. Beat them to it. And give them tools, a simple ROI or cost calculator that actually answers what will my roof replacement cost be, an implementation timeline that spells out, here's the day-to-day, so you know what's coming. When buyers feel seen, they trust you more, and when the almighty algorithm sees clarity, It's Cites. Fill in the gaps with the pages AI leans on when it's not sure, like your pricing and transparent packages that people can scan in seconds, FAQs mapped to real objections, the ones you hear on every call, and even studies and testimonials grouped by buyer types. But also, if you've got a help center, don't bury fluff. Write step-by-step articles that mirror the exact phrasing of the questions people ask. Remember, LLM chats don't stop at education. They handle the follow-up objections too. Feed them the answers you want repeated. And it doesn't end on your website. LLMs lean on off-site proof to validate recommendations. In fact, around 54% of citations come from off-site assets, not your site. So seed signals where LLMs actually look. Start with forums like Reddit, find threads already ranking for your buyer questions, and join in on the conversation. Say who you are, where you work, post helpful specifics, and close the loops on those old complaint threads that LLMs are still citing. Spin up YouTube videos that answer the boring buyer questions everyone avoids. Add full transcripts, descriptive question-style titles, and descriptions, which will become machine-readable citations. Continuously invite customers to leave reviews and aim to get 3 to 5 fresh reviews each month on G2, Capterra, Trustpilot, Google, or Yelp. Land spots on best of listicles or affiliate roundups and industry blogs. Even a single inclusion can echo across ChatGPT, Gemini, and Perplexity for months. Make a note. But if you can go bigger with things like podcasts or interviews, I say go for it. Say yes to guest spots, since LLMs can pull information about you from podcast appearance as well. If you've done everything I just told you, something wild starts happening. You stop getting browsers and you start getting buyers. Real ones. ChatGPT, Perplexity, Gemini, they've already narrowed the field. They argued with themselves and then boom, they picked you. When these folks land on your site, they're not asking, so what do you do? They're asking, what's next? A contact form on your site isn't the next step. It's a dead end wearing a necktie. A high-intent lead wants a conversation right now on the web or by phone or on WhatsApp or SMS, wherever they are. Over 90% of customers expect an immediate response when they contact a business. So businesses that respond within 1 hour are 7 times more likely to convert a lead into a customer. That's how agencies and their local business clients are seeing up to 82% retention rate with Vendasta's Smart AI Receptionist, compared to the typical 2% conversion rate most websites struggle with. And before you think it's another script-based, clunky chatbot, the AI Receptionist is actually trained on your brand voice and on your business data. It knows your FAQs, your policies, and even your personality. So when a skeptical prospect shows up, it answers in your brand voice and will ask 3 or 4 friendly qualifying questions based on the training examples you've provided, and then books the meeting on the spot. And here's the twist. Not every buyer lands on your site. Sometimes the LLM just flashes your phone number and they call straight to your line. But this is where as many as 62% of calls to small businesses go unanswered, and 93% of callers never call back after reaching voicemail. That's why the receptionist isn't just chatting. It's also your 24/7 AI phone rep that picks up when you can't. It answers, routes, and schedules even at 2 in the morning, so you never miss a hot lead because you are off the clock. And for the prospect who wants to buy right away, it's simple to set up a Shopify storefront integration, so the same AI receptionist that chats on your site or picks up the phone can also handle conversational commerce across every channel where sales conversations are. And for the prospect who wants to buy right away, it's simple to set up a Shopify storefront integration. So the same AI receptionist that chats on your site or picks up the phone can also handle conversational commerce across every channel where sales conversations are happening, like phone, SMS, and even WhatsApp. When a prospect asks, do you have this product? It instantly checks availability, answers on pricing, product details, adds them to cart, and redirects them to a checkout link, all inside one conversation. Think about that flow. A prospect chooses you in an AI result, lands on your website or calls your number, gets their biggest questions answered, books a meeting with you, or buys on the spot. No dead ends, no waiting, no lost intent. This is what buyer-ready behavior looks like in an AI-first funnel. The decision already happened offsite. Your job is to make what's next effortless for buyers.